Hi, I'm Paul Schwinghammer, President of Hallmark Homes. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about how new homes are appraised. When you go to buy a house, it has to be appraised for your lender, primarily because the lender has to make sure that the house is worth what you're paying for it, and you'll have substantial equity or enough equity in the house to get the loan. The appraiser actually takes the set of blueprints from the builder, goes out to your proposed lot where you're going to build the home, and makes an assessment as to how he visualizes the new home to be built on that lot. Now, he does the appraisal in a new house just like he would with any other existing home. He takes the values of existing home sales and compares it to the home you're going to build. Now, there's about 15 key factors he or she looks at, when comparing your proposed constructed home to a home that's already been built and already been sold. The first one is the date of sale. Now, all lenders require appraisers to use homes that have sold when comparing to the newly constructed home that must be pretty recent, that being 6 months to a year old only. An appraiser can't use a house that sold 3 years ago in comparison to the house that you're going to build. The next thing they're going to look at is location. Similar to the date of sale, a lender is very particular about how close an existing home sale has to be to your proposed constructed home. So a lender does not want the house that they're going to be comparing yours to be any more than 3 to maybe 5 miles away from the site in which you're building the home. The third thing the appraiser is going to look at is the site size, or the size of the lot in which you're going to build your new home. He's going to try and find houses to compare yours to that are on a similar lot size. Now, that's not always easy to do, especially given the parameters of the date of sale can't be more than 12 months old, and the location needs to be within 3 to 5 miles. So a lot of times he'll compare your site, which may be 1 acre, to another home that might be 3 acres, and have to make an adjustment of value. In other words, bring the value of the comparable sale down to equate to your 1 acre site. The next thing he's going to look for is the design of the two homes. Appraisers like to compare ranches to ranches and 2 stories to 2 stories. Not too often do they like to compare ranches to 2 stories or ranches to tri-levels or bi-levels. Sometimes, though, they have to do that, again, given the parameters of location and date of sale that they have to stick to. So they might make some slight adjustments for the differences between style, but that doesn't happen very often. The next thing they're looking for is quality of construction. Now, that's always a very subjective thing. Since the appraiser is not actually seeing your house built, nor is he physically going into the comparable sales, he's going to make the assumption that all homes are pretty well equal or average built construction. Now, however, he can know whether or not your house is going to be brick, vinyl, or stone, or wood siding, and he also knows whether the comparables are brick, vinyl, wood, or stone. So he's going to make some adjustments. If you're building an all-brick home and he's comparing it to an all-vinyl home, he's going to assume, rightfully so, that your house is more valuable, and thus that will bring up the appraised value. The next thing they're going to be looking for is age. We know that you're building a brand new house, age 0. Now, they're also going to be looking at comparable homes. Again, location being important, date of sale being important. Chances are he's not going to be able to find a brand new house to compare yours to. So he might have to find a house that's 5, 10, even 15 years old. Typically, appraisers don't like to compare real old houses to brand new houses because it's too hard to make a fair adjustment. Condition is the next factor they're looking for. Obviously, yours is brand new, everything in it brand spanking new, no problems with condition on your house. The other house, the only thing the appraiser has to rely on is what's in the report of the sale. So if the house says it was a repossession, needs TLC, fixer-upper, those kind of words, he's going to know that the comparable sale needed a lot of work, was not in great condition, and therefore will give you more value because yours is brand new. Room count is the next thing they look at. Bedrooms, number of overall rooms, and particularly number of bathrooms. So if you're building a house that has 2 full baths and comparing it to a house that's sold, say, 6 months ago in the same basic neighborhood, maybe only 5 years old, but it only has 1 bath, then yours is going to become more valuable. How much that appraiser is going to discount that for or add to yours for is, again, subjective, but it's usually anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for a full bath, maybe $1,500 to $2,500 for a half bath. Square footage is the next one, and it's a big one. Appraisers, again, don't like to compare homes that have sold to new homes where there's a big difference in square footage. So if you're building a 2,000 square foot house, he's going to want to find a house that's around 2,000 square feet, again, in a similar location, similar site size, preferably the same kind of style, ranch or 2-story, and again, it's not more than about 12 months old as far as the sale goes. Those things are all difficult to find, so chances are he's not going to be able to find a house that meets all those criteria and be the exact same square footage as yours. So this is where the subjectivity really comes into play, and a big adjustment can come into play. Square footage is king when it comes to appraised value. So the bigger your house is, the more valuable it's going to be with all other things being equal. So if he's comparing a existing home sale that is 200 or 300 square foot smaller than yours, you're going to get a considerable amount more for the value of your house because it's bigger. Now, will you get the cost dollar for dollar of what it costs to build? No. You're going to get somewhere around 30 to 50% more because of it, but that'll still make a big difference when it comes to the actually coming up with the value of your comparable sale or your actual appraised value of your house. So remember, bigger is better when it comes to building a new house because the appraiser makes his biggest adjustments when it comes to square footage. The next thing is basements. Now, if you have a basement, it's valuable. How valuable? Again, dollar for dollar as to the cost of build? Probably not. But it is going to add a lot of value to the house when comparing it to a house without a basement. Similarly, the appraiser doesn't like to use a real old house that's compared to your brand new one, or a house on a lot of acreage when you're only building on an acre. They don't like to appraise houses that have basements against houses that don't have basements. Sometimes it can't be avoided, and sometimes they have to make those adjustments for basements. Basements do add value. Again, not dollar for dollar, but they do add value. The next thing he looks for, and the line item, is for functional utility. I almost never see an adjustment for functional utility. What does that mean? Well, a house that is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a family room, great room, and a dining room, etc., 2-story or ranch, is functionally utilitized. In other words, it is a good house, no major conditions as far as utility. What's a house with poor functional utility? That would be a 1-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. Poor functional utility. In other words, it doesn't have a lot of appeal to the market because it's not functional. 2-bedroom houses are not very functionally utilitized either, and an appraiser is going to discount for the fact that it only has 2 bedrooms. Now, a 3-bedroom versus a 4-bedroom, you might get a little bit of adjustment there, or a 4-bedroom versus a 5-bedroom, you might get a little bit, $500 or $1,000. Heating and cooling system is the next thing they look at, and again, very seldom do I see adjustments for these. As long as the comparable sale has a working furnace and central air conditioner, we know that your new home is going to have those things. There's probably not going to be much adjustment there. There's not going to be any adjustment for heating and cooling for the age of the other units because that's taken into consideration in the age of the overall house. Now, if a comparable house does not have central air conditioning, then your new home will get value for that. $1,500 to $2,500, depending on the size of the house, at least, is what an appraiser will give. Most new homes, 15 years or newer, are going to automatically have central air conditioning unless it just doesn't work. Energy efficient options is a line item on there. Such things as heat pumps, geothermal heating systems, solar panels, high efficient energy efficiency windows, insulation options can all play into fact. Now keep in mind, you're not going to get dollar for dollar when you put money into energy efficiency options when you're building your new home. You will, however, save a lot of money by putting in those energy efficiency options in your utility costs. And the way you factor that out is take the cost of those upgrade items of a heat pump or of a geothermal unit, high efficient windows, and high performance insulation, and factor out how much more is that, say, $10,000 of costing me over my mortgage, and not only might be $60, $50, $60 a month, versus how much is it going to save me on energy. And if it's going to save you more than $60 a month, then it makes sense to put those energy efficiency options in, even though the appraiser may not give it $10,000 worth of value. Garages is the next thing that an appraiser looks at when determining value. If you have a 3-car garage and a comparable sale that he's using only has a 2-car garage, obviously you're going to get some credit. Probably not the $6,000 to $8,000, $9,000 that a 3rd-car garage is going to cost you, but you are going to get about half that amount, maybe a little bit more for the fact that you have a 3-car garage. Keep in mind, 3-car garage homes sell better on the open market, so they have a better resale value, even though the full cost may not be recouped versus the cost of adding on that 3rd-car garage. Porches, decks, and patios. Right now, in this market, appraisers are not giving a lot of value to porches, decks, and patios, so be very cautious when putting these kind of items into your new home. A porch can be about $25 to $30 a square foot addition, depending on if it's enclosed, if it's heated, if it's cooled. If it's heated and cooled, it's going to be even more. But if it's just covered or screened, it's going to be in a $25 to $30 square foot range, but you're not going to get that much value back from an appraised standpoint. So as long as your house appraises for enough and you have those porches in there and you're going to enjoy the benefit of just the use of those porches, decks, and patios, then by all means go ahead and do it. But keep in mind that when it comes to appraised value, you may not get full appraised value and probably won't out of porches, decks, and patios. What we advise our customers when they see that their appraisal of their new home is coming back short is to immediately look for the things that you can live without right now. Now we say Corian and granite countertops, hardwood and ceramic tile flooring, upgraded cabinetry, things along those lines do not add any value, can be reasonably added later down the road when you have some cash and can remodel, but will also bring the sales price of your home down and thus the appraised value where you need it to be. Because of those 15 things I talked about, you didn't hear granite countertops being one of them. You didn't hear floor covering being one of them. You didn't hear quality of cabinetry being one of them, or quality of light fixtures, interior door trim, or style of interior doors. Appraisers, frankly, don't care about those things. If a house has a door on the inside bedroom, a house has a door. They don't care if it's solid oak, or solid wood, or masonite, flush, or 6-panel, or 12-panel, or anything else. They just care that it has a door. So you may have to go back and revisit a lot of the nice options that you put into a new home that aren't really adding to the value. They're adding to your enjoyment and your lifestyle, but not adding to the value. So don't get discouraged. If you're building a new home and the appraisal comes back lower, your builder, Hallmark, or any other builder you choose, can help you go through the contract, pull out the things that aren't adding to the value, and perhaps even add some things that may help the value. Add another bathroom if you've got room for it, if the appraiser is deducting because you only have maybe a bath and a half or 2 baths. So think about the things that add value, take out the things that aren't adding value, and we hope you can get your new home to appraise.